Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss a very important topic, but first I want to introduce myself to those who are new here. My name is Naomi. I do lifestyle videos, transformation, because we want to move from our normal self to a woman of godliness. So I talk about faith and also other things that we need to develop, our personal development. So without much ado, please do well to subscribe, follow me on Instagram. I'll link everything below. Let's get right into it. Today, the topic that we are going to talk about, I'm sorry if you see me look on the side. I have my laptop there with all the points written. So if you see me do that, forgive me. The topic we are talking about is a guide to attaining, maintaining peace in our lives. Guide to attaining and maintaining the peace that we so long for in our lives. You know, we are so craving in this world of chaos to be people who are at peace. One thing I've learned and come to realize that anything that disrupts our peace is very expensive. And for that matter, it is very important to refrain ourselves from those things. So when people fall out of peace or tranquility, it requires a lot of work and self-awareness to be able to come back to their situation. So we all yearn and strive to be peaceful. Achieving peaceful existence involves so much work, and then I believe that sometimes you need new skills to be able to attain that. But in all that, personally, I have come to realize that I had to take some steps in gaining the peace that I have now. Most people tell me, like, even in rush decisions, in rush situations, I look so peaceful. I mean, it took me a while. I prayed about it, I worked towards it, and now I'm not perfectly there yet, but I can say that at the point that I am now, I'm very, very much happy. And I want you to know that it's doable. You can also attain peace in your life. But I want to first put the disclaimer here that I am no way by means or any way a therapist or psychologist. I'm an entomologist. So I'm just going to give these tips based on my life experience and some tips I've learned from my parents and other elderly people around me. I have all these points written in my blog, so I will link it down if you want to make notes. Everything is in my blog, so that will be easy for people who love to read. So the first point is do not hold grudges. You know, although it seems so simple to say it, don't hold grudges, be nice, sometimes people do certain things and you really, really can't let them go. And these are things that prevent you from being peaceful, because anytime you see such people, your heart skips. So in a way, you are harming yourself. Some people believe that by holding on to grudges, they are rather punishing the other person. But I've come to realize that you are rather punishing yourself. Just as I said, you see them, your heart start racing. You don't have to do that. Let go. Let go and let God be at the center. My mom once told me that drinking a poison and expecting the other person to die is like gradually killing yourself. So this person did something to you, you are so angry at them that you don't want to talk to them. So you think by not talking to them, you're hurting them. No, you are hurting your own self. And at the end of the day, you are the one going to be in a bad situation. Maybe the person has even forgotten about the situation, but you are there still harboring this grudge in your heart, and it's harming you. So I have learned that while I sometimes am adapt to cutting people off when they do something to me, I let the grudges go, but I'm no more talking to such people. It is better to rather stay away from them, but do not cut them off, because we are humans, we are social beings. You never know when you are going to need someone. So, and this actually came into my realization after I encountered something with a friend that did something really heartbreaking to me, that I had to cut him off. And for years, I had even told him that I had forgiven him, but it's just that I had cut him off. I wasn't talking to him. And one time we met, and then this person was so regretful of what he did to me in the past, which I had even forgotten about it. And it made me feel so bad, because in my mind, I'm like, I told you years ago that I've forgiven you. Then he went like, but you do not talk to me. So it means you have not fully forgiven me. So that made me realize that, then maybe what he's saying is true. Because at the end of the day, you said you're forgiving the person, but you're not talking to the person. And so that means, in a way, you don't want them in your space, which is totally fine. Some people just disrupt your peace. It's totally fine. But when they call you that they need help, respond to them. And that was where I was at fault. And one thing that hurt me was him carrying this weight all these years. It really hit me. So from then, I started picking his call, but honestly, he's not the first person I'll call when I need help. But anytime he needs something from me and he calls me or he wants to talk, I'm willing to pick the phone and respond to him. I used not to do that, but now I'm realizing that if you're forgiving someone, you are no more holding grudges, then communication won't kill. I'm not going to be his buddy. I'm not going to be his or her friend in doing things together, but I'm gonna be there if he needs me or she needs me. So we are not going to be frequent, but as and when the need arises, I'm there to help. So that is something that we need to know. If you forgive someone, you take them back. Don't bring them back into your life like you used to be. Still create boundaries, but make sure that this person still feels that they are part of your life, so that you can all grow together. Because God commands us to extend forgiveness, because God has forgiven us all our sins, and so we should extend that to our neighbors. So in doing this, one thing I've also learned is that it is important to seek God for strength, because some things are so hurtful that if you're not careful, you can never let go. But there is nothing too hard or too big for the Lord to carry. So lay down your burdens, lay down your grudges before the Lord, and ask God to take control. At that point, at some instance, it might be hurting at that point. Give yourself time if you need it, but once you recover, forgive the person, move on, and then if the person needs to talk to you, be ready to be there for them. Number 2 is negotiating your own boundaries. We always create boundaries, but we allow it to go under the carpet. Like, this is a simple approach that can easily jeopardize your tranquility. This can be very, very difficult if you are someone who is a people's pleaser, because you want to do things for people to be happy with you. So whether you are into whatever someone is asking you to do or you are not, because you want them to be happy with you, you go with it. As you continue to break your own boundaries, people see it. People are also going to break those boundaries, because you who set these boundaries, you are already compromising on them. And the same thing is going to extend to other people. So make sure that if you set boundaries, do not be disrespectful of them. As you treat your own self, that is the same way other people are going to treat you. So be very, very sure that you set boundaries and you uphold them. Make sure you are strict enough to hold tight to them, so that people will respect what you have put in place. If someone invites you for a dinner and you are not in a good place to go, don't please them by just going. Tell them, give them a good reason why. Sometimes you don't even have to give a reason. Just tell them you aren't able to come. And everyone would understand that. We are all human. Sometimes we need our own space, and that is fine. So don't force yourself to break your boundaries to please other people. You don't have to justify yourself for not honoring someone's invitation or doing something for someone. Just focus and then be true to yourself. Set the boundaries, make sure you abide by them, and others will look at you and follow suit. This closes many doors that could have been open and interfere with your life and cause you harm. So I've learned to create boundaries and stick to them, and that has also improved my peace. Another thing is social media. I mean, we are all on social media. It has gradually ingrained itself into our culture nowadays that we cannot do anything about it. But you have to be wise in using social media. You may either use it for something beneficial, or you do not even have to use it when there is no need for it. It can impact you positively. A lot of people are making money out of social media. And it can also impact you negatively by looking at comments and feedbacks from people. Sometimes it can really affect your mental health. So it is very important to know social media for what it is and use it for your own benefit. You really have to be very selective on the people that you follow or people that you listen to, because sometimes people can influence us knowingly or unknowingly. So I've learned to avoid mindlessly scrolling on social media, doing nothing, just scrolling. If I have something to post, I post and leave, and then I come back to check if people have comments to talk about. I do social media stuff, like I work with it. So I mostly am on social media after work. I don't go on social media when I'm at work. But when I come home, sometimes I look at certain comments, try to reply people's messages and all that. So do things that will keep your sanity. Not because everyone is doing it, then you also have to do it. A further crucial point that I want you to exercise is that be very cautious in selecting the pages you follow, as I've already said. If the person you're following is not adding anything worthwhile to your life, cut them off. You don't need to follow them. Delete all these pages, because sometimes you don't need them. And one thing too that I've also realized, that because social media has created this false environment that we are all in, sometimes you post something, someone who knows nothing about you has the audacity to say all kinds of things in the comment section. People trolling you, people saying negative and things about you without even knowing you. And I mean, that is the space. There is so much negativity in this world now. So you need to cushion yourself. You need to be very, very clear as to what you're getting yourself into, so that you do not find yourself in a bad mental state when these things happen to you. So be very careful with that. Sometimes you just need to put the phone aside, and then you just have to let go. Focus on your life and engage in real life conversation. Have friends come over. Enjoy life outside the screen, and that will go a long way to help you improve upon your mental health and then your peace. Another thing, which is the fourth point, is desire for the best for those around you. That is something I've learned to do, and it is really, really putting me in a good space of mind. Sometimes as humans, we can be jealous of people's progress, and that is something we need to immediately let go. We don't have to. We ought to seek the best for everyone. We mostly want to discredit people and harbor jealousy, which is a normal thing for humanity. But through practice, you can gain the ability to be happy for people. You must learn to put everyone else's needs ahead of you. People tell me all the time that I'm too caring. I don't know if there is anything like too much of being nice, but maybe that was how I was raised up. But people, I'm happy when my girls are happy. I'm happy when we are all growing together. I'm happy when we are all making money together. I'm happy when we are all dressing nicely out. So it's not only about you being the one to be singled out. Let's all come together. Let's do things together. Let's enjoy life together. That is what humanity is about. So it is crucial to go above and beyond to help those who are down in your circle, bring them up with you, and then achieve higher heights. Like recently, some friends of mine, we all graduated, and everyone is getting the position that they prayed for. And I'm happy because I can go to vacations with them, visit them. It's even a joy to know that one of your friends is at this higher level because you know someone there. It's not just because for your own selfish interest, but the most important thing is that people in your circle are progressing with you. And that is something that we all ought to learn, to be happy for the people who are in our circle. The Holy Scriptures tells us in Proverbs 14:30 that one thing that can kill us is envy, being envious of people. And if we are children of God, if we are yearning to be people who are godly, then we need to take jealousy and enviness from our lives. The Bible commands us to rejoice with those who are happy and weep with those who are mourning. So the same principle goes for being happy for those who are happy, whether in your friends or in your family. Just create this circle of desiring. Create this circle of people where we are all moving forward in life. Those who are still behind, hold their hands and pull them along with you. And if you want any tips, I'll be happy to share more in the comment section. Now, another point, which is the fifth point, is seeking validation from people. It's just like the people's pleaser. They always want to do things to make people happy, which is not a bad thing, but sit down and analyze what you're doing, if it is for the benefit for yourself or is to glorify God. I was raised in a family that my parents always expressed gratitude to God for our mere existence, my siblings. And my dad wasn't really with us because he was working abroad when we were kids. And my mom cultivates that in us. He's always praying and thanking God for our existence, for us being around when my dad is not there, to be in her company, So we realize that we don't have to achieve a higher height to be praised. So all the time we feel already appreciated. We do not have to do something huge to be validated. And I pray that most parents bringing kids up will learn this. Be very thankful for your kids, not only when they have achieved a bigger step in their life, but always, so that they will feel part of a community that they are wanted. Most people who struggle with self-acceptance want to prove to other people, and they want people's approval. So including people that they are friends, even in romantic relationships, they want to prove to their partner that they are worthy of their emotions or whatever it is. So when those expectations are not realized, then they start to struggle, and that goes a long way to disrupt their inner peace. You must vouch for your own self and maintain your sanity, because everything we do, both within and without, other people see it. You might not know, but what you're giving off, the energy you're giving off, is easy to be noticed by others. And when people see you are too needy, that is when they try to stay away from you. So if you live by people's acceptance, that is one, I don't know if it is a proverb that a wise person told me, if you live by people's acceptance, you will die by their rejection. So if you're waiting for someone to accept you before you feel happy, then when they reject you, you're going to die. Because if that is not materialized, then you find yourself wanting. Well, I have 10 points, and this is the 5th point, and I see I'm really far off on my time. So I'm going to be fast in giving the next 5 points, which the 6th point will be stop arguing. Some things are not worth your time. Some things are just meant to let go. So whilst others will always have their opinions about you, if it is not meant for you, leave them and move on, because life is full with people who will always have opinions about you, either good or bad. So there is no need to prove a point. Let your character speak for itself. There is no need to argue. Just ask God for His grace to strengthen you, and by not arguing, people will see the special person you are and come to appreciate the person you are. So if you can, avoid any conflict and do not argue, and let your life preach for itself. Number 7 will be oversharing. A friend of mine sent me a quote, and I really liked it. I'm going to read it to you. It says, when you're trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control you become. Even if you are saying something banal, it will seem original if you make it vague, open-ended, and sphinx-like. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. This is a beautiful article, and it ties really straight into what I want to say. Less is more, as the fashion gurus say. The less you speak, the better. So even the Bible admonishes us that we speak less. Silence is always golden in all situations. If you do not, or if you're not asked to say anything, just keep quiet and listen. And people who overshare always want to prove a point. And sometimes it's not even worth your time. So say less, leave some room for mystery. Don't put everything out there. Let people wonder how you are who you are, so that like when they come to realize it, they will then give praise to God, especially on these social platforms where we are putting perfection out there. Keep some things for your own as private. Like for me, my relationships are never coming out there. I put myself out there because I work on with social media, but I'm not going to put my family, my relationship, even my close knit circle friends, I'm not gonna share them with social media. Yeah, I mean, probably, but I keep certain things for myself and then other things to be shared to the public. So let's know when and where to share what, so that we can keep our peace. Because as you open those doors, there is no secrecy anymore. People are so much into your life that they can then say anything, and that is going to affect your life. Things can really get messy if you allow people in. So share just enough to keep your peace, and also make sure that whatever you do, you are doing it to glorify the Lord. You can read some words from the Bible, from Proverbs 10:19, Proverbs 18:2, and Proverbs 21:23, on how to keep our words less and listen more. And I think that will help you keep our sanity. The next point is being uncomfortable being alone. I don't know, but some people are very much uncomfortable when they are alone. For me, my home is my sanctuary. I like being alone. I'm alone. I've always been alone. So I love to be alone because it allows me to be in my own space. It allows me to meditate. It allows me to reflect upon my life, to know where I am and where I am going. So I love being by myself. So if you're not able to enjoy your own company, then I'm sorry to say there is something really wrong somewhere. So I believe that you might actually need to communicate with someone professional, or even a family member that you can confide in, because it's very rare to find people who are not comfortable in their own space. Learn to be very comfortable in your space. That is your space. That is the only place that you should feel safe in. So if you are not comfortable, then that means you are not safe anywhere. So I've learned enough about myself by staying by myself and knowing what ticks me and what makes me angry, and what like, it has really helped me grow as a person. So I know that by doing that, it helps you create awareness of who you are. And the most contentment you can experience is being in your home. So if you are not happy in your own space, then, as I said, you might need someone to help you out. Because in my opinion, having peace of mind all starts from being by yourself, because it starts from within. And so being comfortable with yourself is where it all begins. The fourth and last part, one point, is staying in relationships where you are not wanted or needed. We are social beings, as I've already said. We all want people to want us in their life. We all seek for people to be happy, to be refreshed, to see us. But sometimes that is not the case. Keep relationships that do not respect you at an arm's length. You don't have to force yourself into it. Just as I said, I'm a very nice person. So sometimes people take me for granted, and that is okay. But it gets to a point, I make it clear that this is it, because I know my worth, So this is not only towards romantic relationship, but even in friendship. If people are not valuing you for who you are, realize that, and then create your distance. Realize that you are valuable as a person. So whoever seeks you should value you as such. So be very, very careful with people who just need you, like call you when they need you. They are never there for you. Please value yourself so that others will do so. Notice I did not say that cut them off, because I've said that in the first point, but distance yourself, separate yourself so that you can have your peace of mind. At this point in my life, if my spirit does not align with a person, actually I respectively try to stay away from such a person. I definitely will come to your events when you ask me or invite me. We can talk when we meet, but you're not going to be my first point of contact when I need someone. to advise me on certain things or talk to. So know people who are there for you, who uplift you, who really help you to recognize your growth, like spiritually and physically, and who lend you helping hand when you are in need and reciprocate those kindness. I'm not saying if people are not doing that to you, don't do likewise to them, but recognize these kinds of people and stick to them, because nowadays, with everything that is happening in this world, people do take advantage of people. So be very wise in choosing relationships that benefits you and also benefits God, so that you can all grow together, because we haven't reached that growth yet. We are all growing. It's a progressive thing. We keep growing day in and day out. So someone who is helping you to grow is someone you want to stick to. So that will be the last part 1 point. And the last point will be pray and stop worrying about what happens next. And that is one thing that has given me the peace that I have now. I have learned that I can do much, but I cannot do all things. So nothing gets resolved by me by fretting or mourning or groaning or talking or worrying about problems. It took me a long time to get to where I am now, but I am happy that God has been so faithful to me that I've gotten to a point that I pray about things, I wait on God, and for it to come to pass. And one thing as children of God we must know is that prayer is not an immediate. Sometimes our prayer doesn't get an immediate answer, and that is okay. The waiting process might be short, it might be long. In this waiting time, it's very important to pray to God that He gives you the strength to wait, because most of the times we want our prayers to be answered like tomorrow, but God knows His timing best, and He provides for us at the right time. So if you're a child of God and you know this, then there is no need to worry. Sometimes you get disappointed because your prayers are not answered, and that is fine, but do not sit in that disappointment. Maybe some disappointment is a way to open even larger doors for you. So seek God, learn to wait on Him, and then when the time is right, He says, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And that is something I believe in and practice. Through that, I've learned to be patient and long-suffering. And these are virtues that God always talks about. It's very, very important to cultivate these virtues and wait on God's face for what He has promised us. And another thing that I've realized with me is that anytime I pray about something and it's not immediately answered, when that prayer is answered, in whether it takes years or months to come, there is this always wow factor attached to it. So by waiting, give room. I know God can, in His eyes, one day is 1,000 years, 1,000 years is a day. So in His eyes, it might be even a short time for Him. Allow Him to do His own thing at the right time. And then you're going to be surprised or shocked with what the results will be. I say this, it's not an easy thing, but I have been reassured, and I've seen this so many times in my life, that anytime I pray and it takes a longer time for me to be answered, I get the best of the thing that I asked for. So that calms me down and gives me peace of mind whilst I wait. Just as I said, in that waiting process, continue to ask God to give you strength and provide you with all the necessary provisions that you need to wait for the last minute result. And if it is a yes, you are going to get whatever you seek for. If it is a no, also accept it and wait for God's perfect timing. If that is meant for you, it will come to you. If it is not meant for you, then let it go. So I believe that we may live a day without worry if we seek God in everything that we do. The God we worship has told us to ask Him. He's going to give it to us. We should seek Him and we should look, but we are not doing that. We are rather sitting there worrying about things that we cannot have answers to. So as we do what He has asked us to do, breakthroughs will follow and worrying will be less. So let me tell you that God loves you and He knows what is best for you. Take all the necessary steps that needs to be taken, pray about it, and then leave it to God for the results. Because at the end of the day, if you cannot do anything about it, you cannot do anything about it. So it's by keeping your mental health safe and creating a peaceful environment that what you seek for will come to pass for you. So thank you guys once again. I know this is a lengthy talk, but I'm happy to share with you what I have done so far to maintain and have the peace that I have now. And I hope that it helps someone also attain the peace that they yearn to have in this chaos world. Please do not forget to subscribe, follow me on my channel, and let's discuss peace in the comments section. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.